dropped some more text messages saying, "This has to be the most heartfelt compliment I've ever gotten. Best compliment yet." Comes from Erika Kirk. She posted a screenshot.
Guys, what is up with that social media relationship that Erika had with this 15-year-old girl, Jillian? Telling her, "Oh, you're so beautiful, your features, your eyes, your lips, your skin."
So it looks like Erika Kirk is in hot water again because old clips and photos recently resurfaced, showing her creepy relationship with a 15-year-old. Now, in my other videos, we already talked about just how weird it is that Erika is always at the scene of the crime when it comes to things like this. But this time, y'all are going to see in real time how Erika allegedly uses TPUSA to recruit teenagers into weird and downright disturbing relationships. And as you guys know, TPUSA has been really doubling down on having a strong presence in conservative youth spaces. They're recruiting people as young as 12 to become the next foot soldiers for the MAGA movement. And while this doesn't seem all that bad on the surface, it gets really creepy when you learn all the tactics Erika and the rest of the folks at TPUSA are using to get teenagers to trust them. And that's why everyone is now wondering, what exactly is Erika doing to these kids behind their parents' backs? Is this just an innocent mentorship situation, or is something far more sinister going on behind the scenes?
I realized I just dragged all of these students into a burning building and then left and locked the door.
So if you guys have been following all of this, then you probably have already seen the latest documentary by the America tour. And that documentary really got people talking about TPUSA again because it investigated how aggressively TPUSA was trying to spread itself across high schools and college campuses all over the country. According to the documentary, this wasn't just about recruiting politically active students anymore. The entire strategy allegedly centered around getting access to teenagers as early as possible so they could catch them young before those students even had fully formed opinions of their own. But what made the documentary hit so hard was the way it described the actual chapter system behind the scenes. According to former insiders and students featured in the project, TPUSA had become so obsessed with appearing youth-dominated online that they would let almost anybody start a chapter, with barely any real vetting process. The documentary basically painted it like a giant numbers game, where the organization cared more about flooding schools with their presence than actually protecting the students involved.
The other 5, I found out, the previous field reps' family members had pretended to open up a chapter so that they could claim there was chapters on campuses, and then the rest were legitimately fake contact information, bounced back, texts bounced, calls failed. Nobody is actually verifying the students' identities.
And once people heard that, the entire vibe around those old Erika Kirk rumors immediately changed. Now, as you guys already know, there have been rumors about Erika having an unusually close relationship with a 15-year-old girl, and apparently it wasn't just this one girl. And after this documentary dropped, viewers started looking at those allegations through a completely different lens. Suddenly, people were asking why grown adults inside political organizations were spending so much time building emotional relationships with teenagers in the first place. And more importantly, how long has this been going on for? But before we get into what Erika's alleged relationship with this 15-year-old girl was really like, you guys have been pretty curious about one thing. Why is Erika Kirk somehow always at the scene of the crime when it comes to young girls and teenagers? As you guys probably know, a major part of Erika's background involved recruiting work in the modeling industry, where she regularly interacted with teenage girls trying to break into fashion, pageants, and entertainment spaces. But things started getting really uncomfortable after Candace Owens did a deep dive into that era of Erika's life, which led to her making a shocking post on X. Candace wrote, "More people have come forward regarding what specifically Erika Kirk was doing at Next Model Management in Jeffrey Epstein's orbit in New York." And then she followed it up with, "I now hold the position that it is utterly immoral to defend Erika Kirk. These are questions that demand answers." Candace later went into details on her podcast, where she dug deeper into Erika's alleged links to Next Model Management and the people surrounding that agency. According to Candace, the connection became especially disturbing because Next Model Management was co-founded by Faith Cates, someone known for having ties to Jeffrey Epstein's elite New York social circle. Candace's theory was that Erika's involvement in those modeling spaces may have given her access to young models, teenage pageant contestants, girls trying to get discovered, looking for mentorship and opportunities. Listen to her connect the dots.
Well, what we can now confirm, and these are eyewitness accounts specifically, that they recall Erika because she was taking meetings at the office, and those offices were pertaining to real estate. Real estate for the models that were coming from Eastern Europe, who were being packed like sardines into apartment buildings.
And after that episode aired, people stopped looking at the TPUSA allegations like some isolated controversy. They started treating it like another piece of a much larger and much creepier pattern. Now let's really talk about this 15-year-old girl Erika was allegedly being creepy with, because that's where things take a dark turn. To give you context, at the time these text exchanges occurred, Erika was already 25 years old. And at first, the conversations between Erika and Jillian seemed normal. It seemed like Jillian saw Erika as a cool adult she could one day grow up to be like. But then the conversations turned suggestive as Erika started making sexual jokes, sending her uncomfortable memes, and even a box of chocolate-covered strawberries. And nothing about that dynamic felt like a mentor/mentee or big sis/little sis, or even friends. They're weirdly suggestive, and the girl's replies make it clear that she is not comfortable having that conversation with Erika. In one of the screenshots, Erika says to the girl, "You have the most stunning features," followed by, "Your eyes, your lips, your skin, you're absolutely beautiful." And this immediately raised red flags because why is Erika complimenting a young girl's eyes, lips, and skin? But it gets even creepier because other texts are way more explicit than this. Candace Owens did a deep dive into these texts, and honestly, you just have to see it to believe it.
At Erika Fronsby, gorgeous as always. A few hours later, she then tweeted, "Why did at Erika Fronsby just send me this?" Laughing emojis, and there is a photo which says, "This Valentine's Day, I am going to touch your butt." Jillian posted this tweet on March 6, 2014. So Erika says, "Let me call you, hold on sweetheart, give me a wow." And then Jillian says, "Okay," and puts laughing emojis. Erika then says, "Sec. 2, but not from you, LOL. Holy laughing emoji. You always make me laugh. I don't bat for the other team just yet."
Candace would later reveal that not only did Erika know exactly where this girl lived, she also knew that the girl had some trouble at home, making her a perfect candidate for some adult with bad intentions to swoop in and take advantage of. And here's why this matters. Everything Candace described in this post explains why people think Erika will go to any lengths to insert herself in the lives of unsuspecting teenagers. And this is the part that still shocks people the most. Even after all those screenshots leaked, even after Candace Owens spent months publicly dissecting the allegations, Erika acted like none of it was happening. If you're part of the people who have been waiting for answers for months, wondering why a grown woman was speaking to a 15-year-old girl in such personal and emotionally loaded ways, then don't hold your breath. One viral tweet that really captured the mood came from a user reposting an old message allegedly connected to Jillian from back in 2014, warning parents about Erika. And the person quoting the post wrote, "Good morning. Just a little reminder to the parents who still have their kids around TPUSA/Club America. This was a sophomore girl in high school, by the way. Erika Fronsby, a CEO of a student-led organization you can trust." And the sarcasm in that post was vicious, because it's not just about Erika anymore. It's about how TPUSA has its fingerprints all over a very sick situation, one that could easily be one of the biggest scandals out of conservative America. And somehow, this story gets even darker once you start looking at the powerful circles Erika moved around for years. Just by digging around on the internet, y'all already know Erika has some deep ties to people like Trump and Epstein. But what most don't know is just how deep this goes. See, Erika has also worked under Pamela Liebman at the Corcoran Group, who y'all know was heavily involved in high-profile real estate dealings connected to Jeffrey Epstein. Corcoran Group handled the sale of Epstein's New York townhouse and his Palm Beach mansion, while Liebman herself handled non-disclosure agreements tied to him. So even though Erika's name may not appear directly inside the Epstein files themselves, she's deep inside that same social ecosystem surrounding him for years, so she has access to as many young girls and boys as she wants, and the connections to make sure all of this stays buried. And then people started bringing up Romanian Angels, because as y'all have heard, Erika's orphanage called Romanian Angels has repeatedly been accused of being something much darker behind the scenes. There are even rumors the orphanage was being used as a front for child trafficking operations before it eventually shut down after Romanian authorities caught wind of what was happening down there. And so you have someone whose entire career was built around access to vulnerable young girls through modeling, youth organizations, pageantry, and international charity work. At the same time, this person also has links to some of the shadiest elites in the country. It doesn't take being a detective to put two and two together. And remember, just because some people are good at covering their tracks with pyrotechnics and glittery dresses doesn't mean their hands are clean. We need to keep questioning everything.